see down and see what's going on before you go to wherever it is we go. Now, reincarnation was something that Jesus taught, but at the first meeting of Nicaea, I think, which was in 325 AD, and then there was also a meeting in Constantinople about in 1200 AD, they modified what we call the King James Version of the Bible, and they took a lot. As a matter of fact, they really took about 95% of what Jesus taught out of there. One of the things they took out was the idea of reincarnation. I do personally believe in that, and I believe the soul goes on and on and on. So that's the answer, or what I think the answer is to the near-death experiences.
Okay, this is going to get into the area that I was afraid of, but I can't resist. Containers, vessels, that's what we are. Possibly containers or vessels for the human soul that we're now talking about.
Possibly in experiments with the soul.
What, John, pure speculation, do you suppose our creators, our alien scientists that have created us, what use would they have for the human soul?
Oh, I don't know. Apparently there's a lot of interest by one species, the Greys, in emotions. And they take a lot of time to apparently talk to the abductees about emotions. I've heard of experiments they do with people to create emotions. For instance, there was a case down in Florida where a guy was abducted and he was put in a long curving corridor with two children. And down one end, as bizarre as this may sound, here comes a fire-breathing dragon. So he turns around, runs the other way, and there's a door. He goes into the door, and there's a barrel. And his decision was, does he put one kid in each barrel and let the dragon eat him, or does he get in the one barrel himself and try and fit the other two in there, or what? And this was one of the experiments, and I don't remember how it came out, but this is one of the experiments they do in trying to either understand or experiment with emotions.
So then you might conclude that emotions, anger, jealousy, all the strong ones, have some value to them.
Possibly, yeah.
Or they are themselves some sort of energy that can be used in some way?
Well, apparently, at least according to the abductees, the Greys don't understand it. They don't have emotions themselves, at least like we do, and they're trying to understand the emotions as we feel them.
Wow. We're plotting a lot of new territory this morning. It's very, very interesting. Let's pick up another call quickly. Wildcard line 3, you're on the air Coast to Coast AM with John Lear and Art Bell. Hi.
Oh, thank you, Art. I have two quick questions, and I'll listen to them off the air. Number one, what these are people that have been abducted by aliens and been experimented on. Have they ever suffered ill effects when they get back to Earth from the medical experiences? Second question, has John Lear ever known many Navy aviators, and has he ever had a desire, or has he ever landed on an aircraft carrier? And I'll hang up and listen.
All right. John?
The first one was about abductees, and what was the question? The experience, is any ill effects?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think they leave Earth. Some of them go maybe a short ways out, but most of them is done relatively close here. Yes, they do suffer ill effects. Some of them are quite traumatized by the experience. That's why they form these encounter groups where they can talk to others who have had the same experience. But Hopkins is quite active in those type of groups where they try to help people who have been traumatized by this.
Oh, right, John. Did you see the one on the sightings, the fellow who had the returning red marks on his belly?
No, but I've heard about that case, or one similar to it.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. I've got a break coming up, so stand by, John. We'll do that in just a minute.
Naval aviators question, because I want to answer that.
All right. We're listening to the CBC and BRN networks. I'm Art Bell with John Lear. And we're going to continue through the night with some pretty strange stuff. If you're frightened by all this sort of thing, turn your expose yourself to something that would be harmful to you personally. For the rest of you with strong constitutions, let's continue. Good morning again, John. Let's cover what we were going to. We'll get to the naval aviators.
Okay.
But the lasting effects, and I was telling you about the fellow with the returning red marks that I think was on sightings, a very convincing case. How many people have physical effects that endure?
Well, I don't know. What you mean in percentage-wise?
Well, I mean, how many have you ever heard of? You've looked into so many of these cases, you'd know more.
Lots. They all have that little scoop that's taken out as far as the physical things.
A little scoop?
A little scoop of skin that's taken out, and they have a mark on their ankle or their leg or their arm or something. They're told that they're just taking genetic materials back to wherever they come from.
Interestingly, our own government has recently announced that it has begun a program of gathering, first on the military and then probably others, blood samples for genetic recording.
Yeah.
Aware of that, were you?
Yes, I was.
Naval aviators, have you ever landed on an aircraft carrier?
First of all, he asked if I ever knew any, and I said, my answer is yes. I was taught by a naval aviator first how to fly. He was a transport pilot. His name was Hal Herman. He used to live in Montague, California. I don't know whether he's still there or not. But I've known a lot of Navy pilots. Have I landed on a carrier? No. But to me, that would be the most exciting experience to land on a carrier with 100 125 visibility on a pitching deck at night. That would be the epitome of airmanship. And I know that there's a lot of guys that have done it.
Would you endeavor to do it if you had the chance?
Well, I certainly need a lot more training than I have now, but that really takes airmanship, is to land those jets on the pitching deck at night in extremely low visibility.
Yeah, John, I'm told that what you have just described is one of the most terrifying things any pilot can ever do.
Oh, you can imagine, because, they don't have all that much fuel. It's not like they can say, well, if I miss, I'll just go back to shore. Sometimes they're quite a ways from shore,
Yeah, exactly.
That's their only chance.
All right, very quickly, we're short on time this hour. Wildcard Line 3, you're on the air, Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell and John Lear. Not a lot of time. Go ahead.
Right, this is San Diego, KSTO.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Lear?
Yes.
About the antimatter reactor?
Yes.
I bought the Bob Lazar video, and the last part he goes, heat is taken in by the thermoelectric generator?
Yes.
So that means that the gravitational system is electricity? Is that what they use to...
The thermoelectric generator is separate. That's what provides the positive volt for the operation of the trip. What the tape didn't describe, and what the next one will describe, is how the gravity wave works. And basically the gravity B wave forms like an electrostatic charge on the top of the antimatter reactor. And it's channeled and amplified through the waveguides down to the gravity amplifiers. And that's what's used to make pull the space towards you.
All right, caller, we're out of time this hour, so I've got to scoot.
Right.
I guess there'll be yet another tape that will explain all this. John, we've got a break for just a few minutes for the news, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Stay right there.
All right, how you doing?
You up for a few phone calls?
Oh, you bet.
All right. Good morning on the first-time caller line. You're on the air, Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell and John Lear.
Hi, I have two quick questions for Mr. Lear. Number one, a little while ago you said we might start seeing something in about 6 months. And second of all, when is your next speaking engagement?
All right. You want to take that on the air or right here?
What was that? What did I say about 6 months?
We'll go ahead and have him take it on the air. He said that at one time you had stated you thought that perhaps something would become apparent to the American people in about 6 months, or something would start happening.
Like a German interviewer told me the other day, I'm a great researcher, but a terrible prophet.
You were interviewed by the German press, is that correct?
Yeah, there was a guy in here, and a very interesting guy. As far as my next speaking engagement, I only give about 2 a year, and I don't have one planned.